Hi everyone, today I want to do a quick comparison of all of my single TIR flashlights. So a lot of these are throwy flashlights, but these two are more, they've got much more flood, but they're still fairly throwy, especially the SC18 over here. So in terms of what's included, you get everything in the box. You get the battery, you get the charging cable, you get lanyards as well. So you don't have to go out there and buy anything else. This one comes with the other battery holder as well, so you use different cells in there. In terms of design and build quality, quite a difference. I mean, as you can see, the design wise, some of them are much larger in the head, so that's going to produce extra throw. So basically these these five here, I mean, they're a little bit more chunky, especially these two here and these two here. Okay, but you got the EST, the Speras EST, and the Sofirn SC18 here. Smaller heads, but they don't throw as far. But surprisingly, the SC18 actually has decent throw for what it is. So in terms of overall build quality, I would rate these four flashlights as having the best build quality, just due to the more sort of refined cutouts in here. Even the knurling and things like that, it's a bit more detailed, a bit more thought out. The construction of the tail switch buttons on some of these lights as well, like these two here, they've got momentary mode. They're more of a tactical sort of feel to those lights as well. Whereas if you compare, say, the Sofirn lights here and the Wurkkos lights, have a bit more of a basic build. They've got shinier anodization as well. Less cutouts, just a more basic design at the end of the day, but look, they do the job. So disassembly wise, most of these lights you cannot get into. I believe you can get into the Speras and also the SC18 in terms of the head, but other lights they won't allow you to get in there unless you wrench it open. May void the warranty as well, so don't recommend it. So in terms of onboard charging, the Lumintop AD01 and the Acebeam P16 don't come with onboard charging, so you need an external charger, or if you use the P16, it actually comes with a charging port on the battery itself, so you'll be fine. The other five flashlights here, they do come with onboard charging, and as you can see, quite a big size difference. And you've got these two here, which are pretty much the shortest of the flashlights, but they're still a little bit wide in the head, whereas these ones are a little bit longer, but you're going to be able to fit them in your pocket easily. These three, you can fit them in your pocket. This one definitely, but these two, I don't find them to be comfortable at all, especially this one here, the AD01. But thankfully they come with holsters, or you can put it in your bag. Worst comes to worst, you can put it in your pocket and there's no issues, but it's just going to look a little bit funny in there. In terms of LEDs, you've got the SC18 here. This comes with an SST40. I believe the Speras EST also comes with the SST40 or a Osram P9. Pretty sure it's an SST40. These other ones here come with the SFT40, or these four have the SFT40, and the Lumintop AD01 comes with the Osram W2, so that's the CUL PM1 emitter, which produces a heap of light considering how small the emitter, the die surface, actually is. These three have crenulated bezels, so the P16, AD01, Lumintop, and the Speras EST. So they're going to be useful if you need to break a window in an emergency. All of these lights have very simple UIs with the exception of the Wurkkos TS11, which has AND0 2.0. So when you're using these other ones, pretty simple. You're either using the tail switch or the side switch, ramping it up and down. There's usually a strobe mode. Some of them have momentary mode by using the tail switch at the back, that kind of thing. Let's cut straight to the beam shots so you can see how all of these lights perform. Alrighty, I wanted to do a comparison of all of my single TIR flashlights, single lens TIR flashlights, so you can see what the throw's like, what the beam profiles are like. I'll start off with the Sofirn SC18, and on turbo, really impressive. And for such a little light, you just wouldn't expect that you're able to really make that distance. And I also really like the beam pattern too. Smooth beam, nice brighter section in the center, but it just blends seamlessly with everything else, all the flood. Okay. Coming up next is the Speras M4 tactical flashlight, and these lights are all on the highest modes, and you can see this one doesn't throw as far as the SC18, but it has a similar sort of beam profile. Look, it's actually stepped down. So you step down a touch. Let me try see if I can get it back up to the highest mode again. Yep. Yeah, it's the highest mode. Yeah, it's interesting. It just steps down a touch automatically by itself, and it does it quite abruptly as well. There's not like a fade or anything like that. It just switches, comes down, so I can turn it up again, and at any point now, there you go, it's brought it down again. Okay, similar sort of beam profile, but just not as throwy. Now we're going to look at the Speras M4. Okay, and the Speras M4 has one of the most impressive, like, throwy beams I've ever seen. I mean, on a TIR flashlight, it's just because of that circular LED in there. The beam just looks fantastic. It just has the most aesthetically pleasing profile compared to some other TIR throwers. Nice and smooth spill as well. Okay, there's not too much spill, that's the thing. I think a lot of it is still, I mean, it's focused right in the center, and yeah, but there is a little bit of spill, enough to get you through seeing about 20 to maybe 30 meters ahead of you. But excellent throw. IF22a, the Sofirn IF22a, and this one has almost a similar beam to the Speras M4, but it's larger. Hotspot's larger. I think it's a much more useful hotspot. You do get more light out of it as well. I think that's also due to the battery that I'm using. It's 21700 cell battery in this light. It's got higher draw capacity compared to that Speras M4 and the 18350 in there. So, I mean, it's also able to dissipate heat a little bit better. The IF22a. Okay, and you can see it's producing significantly more flood here on the ground. It's difficult to tell on camera, but you know, look at that. Coming up next is the Lumintop AD01. Okay, and this is the strongest thrower I have, and that's here in the low mode. Let's increase it, medium, high, and turbo. Wow. Yep. Very strong thrower. It's got the CUL PM1 emitter in there, so really optimized for throw. I wonder if they actually put in an NM1 in there, whether it would look any different. You even get a throwier beam with less light. And I prefer the PM1 anyway. The NM1 does, though, look very impressive in the C8. Look at that. There's a good amount of spill on the ground as well, like that. Illuminating well into those trees and well into the distance there. Way past that 400 meter mark. Okay. Now we have the Acebeam P16 newcomer, and oops, look at that. P16, and look at that, Acebeam P16. The beam looks a little bit like the IF22a actually.
It's got a much smaller profile, the flashlight itself. You can fit it in your pocket with no issues. It still throws a very similar distance. And this one costs probably the most out of all my other TIR flashlights, but it does have tactical functionality. Okay, lasts a fair while before ramping down as well. You can turn it off and just reactivate that light again, as you can see. Okay, look at that. Amazing.